Good evening, everybody. I think I'm buffering a little bit tonight, so hopefully you can hear me. It does look like I'm a little bit animated. It just probably how I should be actually, but hopefully you can hear everything and the pictures are okay. Thanks for joining, everybody. Glad you're all okay and you're able to watch. Please comment in the comments box if you so wish. As you can see, I'm on my own. Kieran has gone down with the dreaded COVID. He said he was going to come on, but I think he must have gone to sleep actually and forgot the whole thing. I've rung him. He's just not replying to my calls. So if he suddenly wakes up and he wants to come on a bit later, we might still see the Kdog. Who knows? But hope he's feeling well and he's getting better soon. That's the main thing with COVID. So again, down the bottom there is our YouTube channel. If you can subscribe to that, that would be brilliant. Get that monetized. All the monies and proceeds go to the Lord's Taverners, the great cause that is for disadvantaged and disabled children across the country. We're here, of course, to promote our charity game, and that's again 6 weeks today, the 2nd of May, and that will be, of course, at the famous ground of Oxford Downs, and there it is. That's in my contract. I've got to keep putting that up. And again, we're hoping for a lovely day and that we can raise some money and perhaps get up to the 5 figures. If we can get up to 10,000, it will be well worth it. Yeah, I think it should all be good. We have got a special guest tonight. I have got a special guest waiting in the wings, and that no expense has been spared, of course, with this guest. He is a local legend, and I'm gonna. He doesn't need any introduction. Let's bring him on. There it is. It's the Wesley Spearman Show. Wes, how you doing?
Evening. Yeah, I'm good, thanks. I mean, I know Kieran's gone down with COVID, but unfortunately, I'm on the way back up. So at least one of us is awake and well enough to come on.
on the mend, Wes. On the wet mend.
Yeah, on the mend.
Good. That's good. I was going to ask you, Wes. Obviously, you've got this job now with Hampshire at the Aegeus Bowl, and what's a sort of an average day for you, and what's coming up in the next 4 weeks before the I suppose it's less than 4 weeks for the season to start in the first class game, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it was the first day of our friendly against Gloucestershire today, so cricket's already back, believe it or not, at the Aegeus Bowl, and a few other grounds as well. Somerset were playing Glamorgan and Warwickshire against Kent or something as well. But yeah, usual days, believe it or not, quite busy. I mean, even at the start, when I joined in January, it was not quite non-stop, but almost. Yeah, we had the signing of Ben Brown literally in the first week, which is quite a big signing, I think, in terms of domestic cricket. A guy averaging over 40 in first class cricket, averaging over 50 in the championship last year, and then crossed the border from Sussex to Hampshire. So that was quite a big one to get first up. Then we had Mohammed Abbas join as well, Ben McDermott for the T20. Had a few contract extensions to play with Mason Crane, Liam Dawson, James Vince last week as well. And yeah, I've got some more announcements. We had the announcement of the South Central Counties Cup for the Southern Vipers and regional women's cricket as well. So yeah, it's been quite heavy first few months there, to be honest.
What a lovely day to be playing cricket actually today. It was quite
yeah, beautiful day.
Scores on the doors, Wes. What have Hampshire started well against Shire?
They did all right, I think. I think Gloucestershire batted all of today, so Hampshire will bat tomorrow. And I think Gloucestershire got just over 303 for 7. Miles Hammond, local laddie, got 50. Jack Taylor as well got 50. I think you get 4 sixes in that as well. So who says start of the season is just for bowlers? He's fucking Dawson for 2 sixes in a row as well. But yeah, I think the Hampshire bowlers, they did all right. I think James Fuller got 3 wickets. Brad Wilbur really well, Scott Curry as well, who's only about 18 years old, and he's about 6'8" or something, something ridiculous. Very good young upcoming bowler. But yeah, we'll have to see how the Hampshire batters get on with tomorrow. The opening spot has been a little dubious the last sort of few years. Ian Holland did all right last year, averaging over 30 as an opener. When that's not a usual role. He's more of an all-rounder. But yeah, I think Hampshire's middle order is up there with one of the strongest in the country. You've got Nick Gubbins, James Vince, and Aaron Donald is back from injury after 3 years out of the game, 2.5 years out of the game. Ben Brown as well, Dawson. Yeah, we'll just have to see tomorrow if they can get close to Gloucester's score, because I think that's a good benchmark. 300 in 90 overs, the first day of the season. That's not a bad sort of baseline to set, really. If I mean, obviously Gloucestershire, I hope they'll improve on that. As you can see, Daniel Smith in the chat going Gloucestershire, la la la. Yeah, I think 300 is a good, as I say, benchmark. And yes, 7 wickets in 19 overs. Again, I think that's a pretty decent effort as well.
It was obviously a decent pitch, Wes.
It did look like it, to be fair. I've been working from home today, so I wasn't actually at the ground. But from what I saw on the stream, it did look. It looked quite good. There wasn't much grass on it from what I saw. I mean, who knows what we'll see in 2 or 3 weeks' time when the actual competitive cricket starts, and the ball will be hooping around all over the place, no doubt. But yeah, it did seem a good pitch, and obviously Jack Taylor, Miles Hammond found it all right if they're smacking sixes over the place. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see if that continues.
Good to see actually our 2 Miles cricketers then, Miles Hammond.
Yeah, exactly.
Was Ben Charlesworth playing as
well? Ben Charlesworth as well, yeah, he was playing.
Three Miles cricketers, brilliant. So that's really good. Was Matt Taylor playing, or is he injured? I wasn't sure.
I don't think so. I didn't see his name, but I mean, with these friendlies, you don't really know who's actually playing, because you only see about 11 names on the scorecard, but about 15 of them always end up playing.
Absolutely. Yeah, makes sense, doesn't it? It makes sense. I think they started in the parks today as well. So normally really chilly in March for a start, but today was certainly nice. So can you just allude to your role? What is your role, Wes, just for the viewers?
It's a bit of a long-winded title. Digital Communications and Content Executive.
I like the executive bit. Yeah.
I know. I like that bit as well. But yeah, it's essentially like press officer, media officer, social media manager, all of those sort of rolled into one sort of thing. We've got 3 of us there now, whereas it was I think it was just one person before, with someone else, one of my colleagues now, who was there last year, specifically there for creating content, whereas now we're all sort of, we're in the same role, but we each sort of specialize in different things. So I think I'm more of a sort of press media relations sort of guy, so I'm usually the one who sends out press releases, liaises with the media. So I've had a few requests from like photographers wanting to come into the ground, so that's my sort of job, to make sure they can get in no problem. But also sort of interview the players. So we've spoken to obviously Ben Brown at the start of the season, Nye Donald, Mason Crane, Liam Dawson, Brad Wheel, all the players, just talking about obviously contracts for Crane, Dawson, etc. Wheel about the season, Donald coming back from injury, just general sort of stuff like that for now. And then obviously as we get into the season, sort of post-match interviews, that sort of stuff. Yeah, filming training, all sorts of stuff that I'm sure a lot of people would quite enjoy doing. So yeah, for me to get this, 6 months out of uni is almost a dream come true, really.
No, absolutely. I mean, handy. I suppose you were down that way, weren't you, for your uni and stuff? So you had some links there already. So no, fair play to you, Wes, and I'm glad it's going well. Sounds exciting, actually.
Yeah.
There might be a chance of nipping in a Mars cricketer from Hampshire at
potentially,
some point.
Maybe. We'll have to see. I did get ghosted by James Vince, though.
Yeah, feet firmly under the table first. You don't think it would be James Vince, did you say?
No, I had a request from one of my good friends actually to interview him. Someone I've been in contact with a lot for over uni, and I was able to get Vince's number, then messaged him saying, I've got this person interested. And he's read it. He's read my WhatsApp, but he hasn't actually replied to it. And it's been a few days now, so I don't think I'll be getting a reply.
He's too busy. He's too busy. But yeah, I've just come in here because Sam King's made a great point. Actually, when can he put a bid in to play in the game? Yeah, if you are looking to play either for the Tabs or the Mouse Cricketers on the May the 2nd, you can do a bid to donate an amount to the charity. If you want to play, then Sam did it last year, and it was a great opportunity not only for Sam but also to get some money in for the charity. So that will be available. You can just go on to the Mars Cricketer the Facebook page and put a bid in. You can do that, and we'll certainly take that on board. You could also message me personally if you need to do that. I'm sure you can find my details to do that. So, but yes, a great point, Sam, and definitely a worthwhile cause. So we're hoping that we get our usual sponsors involved. Haven't spoken to them yet, actually. Already had a bid in. We've already had a bid in. That's good. It's amazing what YouTube and Facebook Live can do. But
Power of social media.
Yeah, absolutely, big, powerful stuff. So, good stuff then, Wes. Quite hectic, quite busy. Just as busy in the off season as the season starts, really.
Yeah, it certainly has been. I mean, yeah, as the season comes, we've essentially got usually one of us manning sort of the live stream. So whether you'll see on YouTube when the season does come around, and one of us will be doing that, making sure all the big screens are working, displaying the right things. I think they had a bit of trouble with that this morning, actually. Yeah, just making sure just everything on the stream works fine, moving the cameras around as well. Got one of us on social media, and then I'm sure the other one will find something else to do. I think one of my colleagues was very sort of pitch side with a camera, and did get some very nice sort of slow motion shots of bowler running up. There was one of Ben Charlesworth actually nicking off to I think it was Liam Dawson in the slips. A really nice slow mo shot of that, which is on the Hampshire Cricket Twitter. That does look really good. But yeah, the off season has just been busy because, as I said, we've got contracts, signings, sort of general news stuff around the ground. It's not just a cricket ground, the Ageas Bowl. We're hosting concerts in the off season as well. So had an announcement go for that in the last couple of weeks as well. So yeah, there's a lot more than just sort of cricket stuff, because we got the players training, so we need to sort of capture footage of them, talk to them. They were on the pre-season tour last week, so making sure that, because none of us went over to Spain. I'm sure we wouldn't have minded going over to Spain, but they wouldn't let us. But yeah, just making sure they're sending over stuff for us to put out on social media. So yeah, there's a lot to get stuck into, and yeah, as the season comes round, then it's only going to get busier.
Is it going to be part of your remit to do some live streaming and commentary, Wes, or is that not part of your?
Potentially, I have spoken to my boss about that, and well, funny enough, he brought it up, not me. So yeah, there is the potential. It won't be every game, obviously, because would you rather listen to me or Kevin James? You'd rather listen to Kevin James, who's been doing it for God knows how many years.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
There could be a chance, whether it be a county championship, Royal London, or some Vipers games, then I could be behind the microphone for that. But yeah, I'll be managing the live stream for sure at some point. But yeah, if I do get behind the microphone at some point, then yeah, I'll really look forward to that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Keep your hand in. Keep your hand in, Wes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, good stuff. Actually, Sam King says he'd rather listen to you than Kevin James.
Too kind.
Yeah,
he probably hasn't listened to me. That's why.
The check's in the post, apparently.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Wes, is there anything else that you have to do as part of your role that we've missed out?
I think that pretty much covers all the bases, really. Just sort of, just keeping everything up to date, really. Website, social media, stream, filming. yeah, there's a lot to it, to be honest, but it's good to keep busy rather than sitting around doing nothing. There have been some times where I've just been able to just be like, what is there to do, really? But yeah, as the season comes around, I doubt I'll have too many moments of nothing.
Understandable. Oh, it's exciting times for you, Wes. Hope it continues to go well. So well done
Oh,
to
thank
you
you.
for that. I think we'll do a little pundits panel because I know
Just a
you've
little
been
one.
watching the England West Indies series closely, and your friend Johnny Bairstow seems to be scoring runs at will. So we might just have a conversation about Johnny. But what's your thoughts on this last Test match? I thought England again put themselves into a good position of not losing. I thought there were some really good performances, and it's interesting to see Ben Stokes get 100, isn't it? And what that meant to him. I think that's encouraging. We've now had, is that the 5th century maker? And we've had a 90 as well. So I think for me, things are going in the right direction, albeit I would have to say that the opposition are probably as good as us. About on par, aren't they? I would say on par. So your thoughts on this last Test match, really? Yeah. Where's any thoughts? What's your thoughts?
I think we've all been pleasantly surprised that that what England have done, and as you say, yeah, the opposition is it's not what it was in Australia. Let's put it that way. I think the highest sort of Test average going into this series was only 2 players averaged over 37. From what I think that was from Wisden, only Nkrumah Bonner and Joe Root, which sort of goes to show just how poor the batting is on both sides, not just England. But yeah, having said that, for England to get 507 in the first innings is an extremely good effort. And yes, the pitches have been quite flat so far this series. They have been quite dead, not quite as dead as the ones in Pakistan from what we've seen over there, but still pretty flat nonetheless. But yeah, Joe Root 150 consecutive hundreds. Now I don't see any reason why he can't go and do it again in the third. He's not too far off from, I think it's 10,000 Test runs now, only about 150 off the 10,000. So hopefully he does that next game. And yeah, as you said, Ben Stokes, an incredible 100. Really, he hasn't scored one since I think 2020. But then comes out and scores 120 off 128 balls is quite remarkable. And you can always see how much it meant to him. His first century since his father Jeb passed away last year, I think. So yeah, huge emotions for him. And as you mentioned, the 90 off from Darren Lawrence as well, and a bit gutting for him to miss out. But it wasn't the best of shots on in the final over when he chipped one straight to cover after crashing 2 fours in with what 3 balls to go. He's still young, so maybe it was a bit of immaturity or lack of experience from him on that part. But I think he's played really well this series, and beggars belief why he didn't get a go in the Ashes. To be honest, why they brought Ollie Pope back in that 5th Test. Could Dan Lawrence have gone in there as well? But yeah, he's done a really good job batting at number 4. Joe Root moving up to 3 doesn't seem to have harmed the team in any way. In fact, it seems to have made it even better. But yeah, I think if there was something that I had to criticise, it would be probably the seam bowling just a little bit. I mean, Chris Woakes hasn't done anything special, nor was Craig Overton in that first Test. I think last time out, Fisher and Mahmood did all right, I think, with the ball. They were fairly consistent, I think. And obviously for them to get their first Test wicket is great for them. But I mean, they'll hope that the next pitch in Grenada offers them a bit more assistance, really, than the one has done. But overall, I think they've done pretty well, England. So yeah, one Test to play, and I just hope the pitch is a bit better. It's a result pitch, not a draw pitch, really. You're on mute, Daryl. Can't hear you.
Yeah,
it's been 2 years.
That's probably the best way. Keep me on
Probably,
mute.
yeah.
No, I was just thinking actually about Mahmood's spell where he took the 2 wickets. I thought it was a decent spell. He made the batter play every ball actually. And it's, that makes a difference in my book. There's too many times where we bowl a channel and it's easy to be leaving the ball alone. So I think his his contribution. I like Matt Fisher. He looks okay. I think there's some good signs there. I've been disappointed with Wokes, if I'm honest. He always chips in with runs. I know that, so he is useful to have in the side. That's for sure. Does strengthen our batting, but yeah, he needs to contribute with the ball a little bit more. I was really pleased to see Jack Leach. I've been a real sort of person who's knocked Leachy over the last few months, and he's back actually bowling quite well. And I think, again, they were saying that he perhaps should have taken more wickets. Perhaps he should have bowled a bit slower, but bowled a few moon balls in that last bit. But I mean, he's coming back into some good form. And I think the two things I would say, Wes, I don't know if you'd agree with this. Rooty seems to be a little bit more at ease with his captaincy, and his field sets, although I possibly didn't like leg slip, leg gully, I would have had short leg and silly point. I actually thought in outfield for Leach was the right thing to do, which we didn't see in the Ashes. I think we treated him quite badly there. So Rooty with a little bit more, I don't know, oomph, if you like, in his captaincy, and Leach back. Do you agree with those two comments? Where is he?
Yeah, I'd say I agree with those. I think it helps Root that he's got sort of runs behind him as well. We've got 100 in the first game, 100 in the second. He's confident in his own game as well, and yeah, he's backing Jack Leach, which, as you said, makes a change to what we saw in the Ashes when he was bowling left arm round the wicket to Usman Khawaja and Travis Head with 4 or 5 players out on the leg side boundary, which doesn't do Jack Leach any good. Especially when he at that point in time, he hadn't bowled much in Test cricket at all. He's just been carrying the drinks for the last close to 12 months then. But now, as you say, I think he's bowled really, really well, and he's just finding his feet again in the England Test side. And whether we'll see Matt Parkinson in the next Test, either in place of Jack Leach just for a Test, or if they'll play both of them in the same team off the back of what we've seen with the last 2 pitches. But yeah, I think he's bowled really well, and as you say, the field sets have been a lot more aggressive and just better for a spinner than what we saw in the Ashes with 3-4 players around the bat. And yes, at that point England are going for the win. They need to take wickets, but it just gives it will just give Jack Leach so much more confidence compared to seeing 4 players out on the boundary from ball one. If I was
bowling,
him,
you
exactly,
bowl
yeah.
that way. You suddenly bowl where you're giving them the chance to hit the ball. It's absolute, subconsciously, whatever, but it does happen. I'm convinced of that. And an in-outfield is always good for a spinner, especially in Test cricket. I do believe that. And of course, Johnny Bairstow, I have to say, probably hasn't put a foot wrong in these 2 Test matches, and carrying on from his good form in the last Test match down under. So it is good to see somebody like that back in form and contributing, I think, because we do need that. And it's probably helped batting at number 6. I don't know if you feel that has been, one of the reasons why we've seen a resurgence of the Bairstow.
Yeah, I think I know I've been highly critical of him in the past,
just a bit, yeah.
just a little bit. And I think that was right in saying, because he didn't have any form in Test cricket back then. But yeah, England's only 100 in the Ashes, got a quite marvellous 100 in the first Test when England were under the pump yet again. And did okay in the last Test. Didn't really have much of a chance to probably show himself in the last Test, let's be honest. But yeah, I've been extremely pleasantly surprised by Bairstow and what he's done, and yeah, he's sort of making that number 6 spot his own. He's been messed around a bit in the last few years, batted at 3 a few years ago in 2018 and 19. He's batted at 7, 6, 5, wherever you name it in that middle order. Really, Bairstow's sort of battered there, but yeah, with Ollie Pope in no sort of form whatsoever, and I think it was only right that the selectors give Bairstow another go, given he got that 100 in the Ashes. He's an experienced Test player. We sort of know what he can do when he's in form. So, whereas with Pope, we haven't really seen too much of him. Yes, he got 100, but again, that was 2 years ago now. It's been 2 years since Pope scored 100, and yeah, Bairstow was just coming to the side and just showed everyone what he can do when he's at his best. And I can't really knock him too much. It pains me to say it a little bit because of my criticisms in the past. But yeah, he has done really well, and hopefully he can now, after however many years out of form, really averaging sort of mid-20s with the batting test cricket, he can now sort of just progress a little bit more and just get that average up to close to 40, where I'm sure it was at one point in his test career fairly early on. Yeah, he's done well, and hopefully, as I say, he continues that form into the last test. And then, obviously, I can't remember who we got first up. I think it's South Africa or New Zealand. I can't remember who we got first up in the English summer. But yeah, hopefully we see him continue his form there.
Yeah, and just lastly on England, I think is the opening spot. I think we've seen glimpses of Lees holding up an end, which we've been asking for a little while since Cook has departed. Has he struggled a little bit? Is he under huge pressure? Have they not given him the same sort of guidance that they've given Lawrence? Obviously, I think Crawley's there for a little while now. I think he looks the part for me. I think we've got to persevere with Crawley. Lees, is he the answer?
Debatable. I was a bit surprised by his inclusion initially, because when I was thinking about sort of openers in the county championship last year, I know Tom Haynes scored the most runs of anyone in the county championship, but playing for Sussex, who finished bottom out of 18 counties in the country, then is he a viable option when he finished that low down in the championship? Perhaps not. Jake Libby, another option. I know Adam Live had a good start to the season, but has he had a chance too many? Adam Live, maybe so. Same with Sam Robson as well. I think the selection of Alex Lees is well, it's a Paul Collingwood selection, I think, really, with him obviously been playing for Durham, coaching at Durham, and obviously must know Lees quite well, must know his game quite well, and obviously backs him to be England's new opener. And as you say, we have seen glimpses of him, got a 30-odd, got a 20-odd, but it's not enough at international level. And I know he's only 2 tests into his career, and he probably will get that half century, get that century sooner rather than later. But personally, I'm not too sure. But then again, who is sort of that question? Who else is around? Absolutely. I know for me, Rory Burns is still one of the best openers in the country. I know he's been. People have asked all sorts of questions about him, of his technique, of he still averages. He's still got one of the higher averages since Cook and Strauss retired. And yes, that is only just above 30, but he's got more hundreds than anyone else we've tried since Strauss Cook, and that is only 3. But still, he's still got something about him. He scored buckets of runs in the championship for the last 4 or 5 years, and for me, he's still one of the better ones that England have got at the moment. But having said that, if Lees does score a 50, a century in the next test, or at the start of the English summer goes into the championship, scores buckets of runs in the first few games, then by all means keep him. Same with Crawley. I think he played superbly for that 100 in the first test, and he's still young in his career. He's only about 22, 23. He's only a couple of years older than me. So yeah, I think England do have to persevere him, because we have seen glimpses of brilliance from Crawley. He's got that half century, 70-odd in the Ashes, before that in India as well, and yeah, this 100 in the Test match just gone. So yeah, I think England do have to persevere a bit more with Crawley. Just give him his back. He's there for the summer, let's say, at the end of this year, really. I think Crawley should still be in that England Test side by the end of the year. Yeah, Lees, I'm not convinced by him at this stage, and yeah, we're only 2 Test matches in, but yeah, not massive fan of Lees at the moment, to be honest.
I'm probably with you on that, Wes. To be honest, I haven't seen enough of him to really comment, but yeah, not scoring enough. Probably under huge pressure, I would guess. But
yeah,
and we must never forget that. Actually, I think there are players that are under huge pressure. Wes, I think we'll call it. We've gone for half an hour. It's a lot longer than I anticipated. But
most of that's me rambling on about Bairstow and Lees, to be honest.
It's not a problem. Obviously, what we're here for is scrolling down the bottom there. If you can give any donations, spare £1 or £2. for the Lord's Taverners, go to our Just Giving page, search the Masked Cricketer, you'll find us on there, and please donate if you can. And we obviously would look forward to seeing you all at that wonderful ground that I should really just put up again, Oxford Downs Cricket Club in Stanlake on May the 2nd. People keep asking me, Wes, when am I falling out of a plane? And it will be falling out of a plane. Now COVID is over, I am looking into places that I can go. There's none in Oxfordshire, so it's always going to have to be outside the county, strangely enough, and that is true.
I'll just rent out Bryce Norton for a little bit. Biggest RAF base in the UK, right on our doorstep.
Not sure that's a good idea at the moment, Wes, from an RAF point of view, but yeah, we'll see. You know, I'm not dibbing out people. I assure you, I will be doing it. It's just trying to organise it when it makes sense and people can be there and we can film it and perhaps raise a bit more money and hopefully get Aggers catching me with a check or something. Who knows? I've not asked him, so you know, it's something that we're not quite sure about. There's no announcements of who's playing for the Taverners at the moment. No announcements who's playing for the Masked Cricketer. That will come in the next 5 or 6 weeks. We will keep coming back. We will come back for a Masked Cricketer before the 2nd of May. We are convinced we have got somebody that will be very interesting indeed as a Masked Cricketer. So watch this space on that. That will be on a Monday night. Around about 9 o'clock, so it'll be a late one, so you can join us for that. So that could be exciting. Wes, is there anything else you want to tell us? Words of wisdom.
Really. Nothing more other than, yeah, keep an eye on your counties. Go and watch county cricket. Tickets are, I think, fairly cheap. I know at Hampshire, they're, I think, £17 a pop for county championship. Same for one day cup. So if you do find yourself at a loose end over the next few months, then do go out and support your local county.
I've just come up with a new thing that we can do. Wes's Words of Wisdom. Yeah, www.
Quite a short feature. I don't have many.
Yeah, I think we could do something with that, Wes. We could do something with
that.
Maybe. And on that note, I think I should probably say thanks ever so much for watching. We'll be back next week with another promo for the Masked Cricketer charity game. We hope you join us, and hopefully you can make it at the 2nd of May. We'll hopefully have a bit more information next week on tickets and stuff like that. I'm meeting with the legend that is Claire Bowden, always helping me behind the scenes. So hopefully we will have news on food and whatever. Whether we'll have pyrotechnics this year, I'm not sure, but we will be looking at doing different things again for that event. So just from me, take care. We'll see you very soon. And thanks, Wes, for joining us.
No, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Down. We hope Kdog's well as well. But we'll see you soon. Bye for now.
Bye-bye. Show's done.